So let's go to our items view controller, and what we need to do here in order to first of all to detect any clicks by the user, we are going to work with our table view function, which is called did select row at index path. So I'm going to put a mark called this table view delegate and say did select row at index path. And every time our user selects a row at index path, this function will be called. And the first thing we want to say is table view deselect row at index path, and we pass our index path here, animated. We just put true here. And then once we deselect, we also want to show our item view. So let's under our navigation mark here, I'm going to put a private func called this show item view, and this is going to be an item which is going to be a type of item. So we pass an item to our show item view function. And in our did select row at index path, we can call this function and we can say items array, and we're going to get index path.row. So we just select the item we want and we pass it to our show item function. And in order for our show item function to display our view controller, because if we go to our storyboard, you will see that we have no link to this view. Let me just move something so we get it back. So what we will do is select our view controller and then go to storyboard ID, where we select our class, and we're going to give this an ID. I'm going to call this item view. So now that we have this ID, we can call this through code without any segues. So let's go back to our items table view controller, and here in our show item function, I'm going to instantiate this view controller through code. So we say let item vc is equals to UI storyboard dot initialize a storyboard with the name, and our storyboard is called main here. Bundle, I'm going to pass a nil here. Then we're going to instantiate a view controller with identifier, and our identifier is item view. Make sure that you type it exactly as you have named this ID in the storyboard, otherwise it's going to crash. And since I know what type of view this is, I'm going to downcast this to item view controller. Now that we have our item view controller, it means that we have access to every parameter it has. So it has a variable called item, and we can set the value of this to be our item that we have passed to our function here. And once we do this, we can present our item view controller. So we say self dot navigation controller dot push view controller, and our view controller is going to be item vc, and animated is going to be true. And let's get rid of this line and run our application. So right now, by clicking on our cell, we are going to be able to transition to a different view and to see what we have there. So select the bike and it takes us to our view, and we can see our user interface that we have just created. and also very long back button here that will take us back to where we came from. So clearly it works because we are getting our printout as well, so our item is being passed from one view to another view.